another edition of Busy MC TV, where I bring you dope music, interviews, and commentary on the news stories that's rocking the world. Okay, family, we got a lot to unpack tonight. I ain't been on for a little while, you know what I'm saying? But we gonna start moving with this. We gonna keep moving. We're gonna talk about the origin of Christmas. It's called Saturnalia. And then we got the U.S. Omicron surge with the other thing of the coronavirus. We're gonna talk about that. And then the last story we're gonna get into Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan. It was shut down by the only vote they needed, which was Joe Manchin. And then we're gonna see what was going on in the bill for him to turn it down. You understand what I'm saying? I want to give you an understanding of what's going on, family. If you don't know what's going on, if you know what's going on, then you can build on with it. And those are the stories I have tonight, man. Shout out to my Uncle Daryl, my Uncle Chris, my cousin Ramel. Without y'all, this show wouldn't even be possible tonight. So I want to give gratitude and thanks and use my blessing to bless others. So without further ado, family, I'm about to go into the stories, okay? That's what's up. All right. We're going to go into the first story. We're going to go into the first story like that. All right. The first story is the origin of Christmas. It's called Saturnalia. You understand? They call it the Pagan Christmas. The origins of what we celebrate and the traditional way of how we celebrate Christmas. This is what it derived from. So we're gonna go into it. This is like, you know, I knew of the history a while, but I've been digging into it and I've been reading about it and I've been studying it. And you know, a lot of people around here saying F things for no reason. You can't just say F things, for no reason. You have to research and understand why you are saying F things. You understand? So, okay, here we go with the first story.
The church nevertheless confused.
It has been called the Day of Days. It is a time of magic, pageantry, warmth, generosity, and love. For many of us, our childhood memories revolve around the traditions of Christmas. It is a time that many around the world celebrate as the birth of Jesus Christ, the Savior and Messiah of mankind. In recent years, however, the spiritual holiday has become a time of mass marketing and crass commercialism.
Yeah, we gotta buy that shit.
Many businesses derive more than half their yearly income during this period. The process of gift giving, once thought to have come from the story of the wise men who offered gifts to the newborn Christ, has evolved into the buying frenzy we see today during the month of December.
So that's an obvious one right there. So the thought of giving gifts and having to spend all your money and waste all your time in these stores is due to the fact what people believe that it come from the three wise men when they bought the so-called Christ, the frankincense, the myrrh, and the gold. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna keep going.
But what about the other Christmas traditions? Have you ever wondered why we decorate the Christmas tree?
Why do we decorate the tree?
Why we light the Yule Log?
Why do we do that?
Why we hang the mistletoe?
Why do we do that?
Why we teach our children to believe in Santa Claus?
Why do we do that?
In the next hour, you will discover the true origins of Christmas. You may be surprised or even shocked to learn the source of your favorite holiday traditions. Chances are, you'll never look at Christmas the same ever again.
I ain't gonna lie, family, I ain't gonna lie. When I learned about this thing with Christmas and where it derived from and how it came to be, it made me sick. Because when I was growing up, and I was growing up in my grandma's house, and I used to look forward to Christmas and, opening up the toys and eating the turkey and, being festive and things like that. But I didn't realize at my young age that I was celebrating something that's really ancient and really detrimental to the people. All right, so here we go. We're gonna keep going. It's from a video called The Unwrapping of Christmas.
Northern Hemisphere during late December, the days are at their shortest lengths and the nights are at their longest. For those of the pagan world, this has always been the greatest time of the year to celebrate and practice the works of darkness. The pagan calendar...
See, it goes from the pagan calendar. Christmas comes from the pagan calendar, man. And when you say pagan calendar, pagan means when you derived into dark arts and you doing things that's unnatural to the human world as far as like sex and things like that. But we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going.
Identifies this period as the Winter Solstice. It was during the pre-Christian midwinter pagan celebrations of Scandinavia's Norsemen where today's Christmas traditions began. As a means of honoring the pagan sex and fertility god Yule, a 12-day celebration during the month.
So the Yule Log was like homage to a sex and fertility god. Wow. Hold on. It's some more, man.
December was inaugurated. A large single log considered to be a phallic idol was lit on fire and kept burning for 12.
So the Yule Log, so we already diving into this, all right? They're saying that the Yule Log represents the phallus. Anybody know what a phallus is? That's the phallus. And it's sick. All right, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. Y'all representing putting that Yule Log. That's my get the Yule Log. That's my go get the dick. Now
days. Animal or human sacrifices were offered in the fire on each of those days. Wild, delirious reveling accompanied the daily sacrifices as drunken participants defiantly strove to make contact with spirits. 1,000 miles away in pre-Christian Rome, celebrants were paying homage to their own gods during the winter.
And remember, I'm bringing all this up because this is way before the so-called birth of the so-called Christ. Way before this. So that I'm taking you guys way back. All right, so listen.
Solstice. Witchcraft traditions hold that a number of pagan gods were given birth during this period, including Dionysus, Attis, and Baal, chief male god of fertility and licentiousness. Another pagan god from Persia, identified as Mithra, was said to have been born specifically on December 25th. Mithra was the god of the unconquerable sun.
They worshipped another god on the 25th before the birth of Christ. Are you following that shit, everybody? I'm not making this up, man. I'm just keep going, y'all.
God of the light between heaven and earth, worshipped at that time by an influential Roman cult. His birth symbolized an end to the long nights and a return to the dominance of the sun. During the month-long winter solstice celebration, courts in Rome were closed. Any and all crimes were allowed.
Do that sound familiar? Do that sound familiar when Christmas and shit come? They close everything. You can't get your mail. You can't cash no check. You can't conduct federal business. You understand? Does that sound familiar?
Homosexuality, cross-dressing, and uncontrolled debauchery reigned supreme.
What?
Rome's order was turned upside down. Even children were allowed to join in the drunken orgies as part of the Juvenalia celebration.
So children was allowed to join in the drunken orgies during these winter solstice parties, man? Does this sound like anything that you need to be giving your fucking energy to, bruh? Wait, there's more.
By 270 AD, the Roman Emperor Aurelian had made it official, setting aside a 7-day period from December the 17th through the 24th, culminating in an exchange of gifts on December the 25th to celebrate the birth of the sun god. This Roman orgy to end all orgies later became known as Saturnalia, in honor of the god Saturn, the god of excess.
So the orgies a thing turned into this worship called Saturnalia within the Winter Solstice. And like they just described, man, I ain't even 4 minutes in this video and it's already disgusting. Orgies with children. Come on, bro. The Yule Log. We just found out about the Yule Log. Okay, we're gonna keep going. It's gonna be a good live, man. I'm just going in depth with things and we're just gonna have a good conversation. We're just gonna build, man. We're just gonna have a good conversation tonight. That's all I want to do.
Roman soldiers invading Britain brought with them their pagan orgiastic traditions. Upon taking root in England, Saturnalia became known as the Festival of Fools, reigned over by the Lord of Misrule. By the 4th century, the influential government-sanctioned Church of Rome, unable to outlaw the growing number of pagan practices, chose instead to adopt them into their so-called official Christianity.
So if you can't beat them, join them. So the wickedness was so great. The wickedness was so great that the righteous couldn't do nothing. The righteous of the society of that time couldn't do nothing but join it and write it into the laws because it was so demanded.
The church believed this would attract more pagans to their fold.
Wrong.
Up until this time, the birthday of Jesus Christ, the Jewish Messiah, had not been celebrated at all. Ignoring scriptures, however, indicating that the birth...
Like I said, Jesus wasn't in that. Jesus never been in Christmas. But I'm going to keep going before I say what I got to say. Jesus was never involved with Christmas.
Probably did not occur during the winter. The church nevertheless confused biblical history and made Jesus' birthday coincide with the pagan god Mithra. The birth date of the sun god had now become the birth date of the Son of God.
This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. Everything, like they tell you, ain't nothing new under the sun.
It was hoped that the pagan celebrations of Saturnalia would merge into this new legally sanctioned form of Christianity. The church's practice of changing the dates of Christian events to coincide with pagan festivals continued, and by the 7th century, Pope Gregory I had ordered Augustine of Canterbury to incorporate any and all pagan practices and customs into the expanding Roman Catholic Church. During the Middle Ages, the debased Mardi Gras atmosphere of what was now known as Christ's Mass had reached a fevered pitch.
Okay, by that time, when they introduced and they mixed Christianity with this Saturnalia, they called it Christmas. See, everybody get it twisted like they thought it was called Christmas because of Christ. You understand? That's where they got you fooled.
Common practices included open sex in the streets, rioting, murder, and a number of pagan druidic Halloween rituals.
What?
This blood-drenched celebration got so out of hand that by 1652, following the execution of King Charles I, Christ's Mass was finally outlawed in England.
They even outlawed it one time. Christ's Mass was even outlawed one time, man. You understand what I'm saying? Do you people know the rituals and the things that you were doing? You were fueling this wicked satanic society with things of this nature, which probably is cursing your house.
Religious reform movement began sweeping the country, led by Puritan Oliver Cromwell. The Puritans took the biblical mandate seriously, which commanded that Christianity remain pure and separate from paganism. Despite their noble efforts, the celebration simply went underground, and by 1656, after only 4 short years under the ban, the public's demand for the legalization of Christ's Mass had become insurmountable. The appointment of Charles II to the throne restored England's monarchy, and with it the celebration of Christ's Mass. The Puritans had lost England, but they held high hopes for the New World.
When the first settlers came from England, they were, for the most part, Puritans. They came here for religious freedom. They came here to be free to...
They're talking about the Puritans and the people that came here to settle the new world called America. All right? That we already done sailed the 7 seas now, so listen.
Worship God without a hierarchy and without the corruption of the organized church that they had known before. And when they came with the clear knowledge of the danger of these pagan practices that had become so dear to the hearts of their ancestors.
Following England's lead in 1659, the colonies of America had likewise outlawed Christmas. For 200 years, the clergy in New England battled to keep the riotous celebrations.
Yo, so they saying that the Puritans and the Quakers or whatever the fuck these people was came here and tried to keep that shit outlawed. But I find it kind of an oxymoron that they would try to run away from the paganistic part of Christmas when all the people that came over here was the undesirables. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? Those who came over there in them slave ships, them Christopher Columbuses and the Mayflowers and the Santa Marias and all that shit, they was undesirables, man. So I kind of like finding this shit kind of crazy that they'll be running from something that they introduced this new world to.
Honoring the pagan god Saturn from infiltrating the new world.
Understand that pagan god Saturn, man. Understand it. They still worship that shit to this day. To this day.
Reverend Cotton Mather had warned in a Christmas Day sermon in 1712, "Can you in your conscience think that your holy Saviour is honoured by hard drinking, lewd revelling, and by a mass fit for none but Bacchus or Saturn?" But the public's taste for sin and revelry persisted. In 1828, gang rioting during the Saturnalia-like Christmas celebrations got so bad that cities such as New York were forced to institute a professional police force for the first time in order to control the savagery.
So they saying the police force in New York was created because of the Saturnalia. Nah. Maybe a division was created, but the real original police force was created to catch runaway slaves. See, if you know your history and you know your knowledge, you can't be duped when you go on YouTube and you go on Facebook and look at these people they talking. You understand? You have to look and read shit for yourself, man. You don't understand and read shit for yourself, man, you will believe any goddamn thing.
Christmas was not widely celebrated. In many cases, many places, Christmas celebrations were actually outlawed. And this was because of the attitude of many of the churches who regarded it as primarily as a pagan celebration and as a reproach to the Lord.
By the mid-19th...
See, like, we all guilty, man. We all guilty. As soon as we spend time with our family, open up the presents, we get to want to drink. We want to go drink. To all my single ladies and my single fellas and niggas who got people, they be going out trying to fuck something, man. You understand what I'm saying? It's all debauchery, man. We was practicing debauchery, paganism, man. We all pagan-hearted. Whether you know it or not, you growing up in America and you celebrating this shit and you partaking in all these drunken activities and things like that, you are worshiping paganism.
Century, American churches were the last remaining holdout in the war against the validation of Christmas. However, they too finally succumbed as a result of the efforts of the American Sunday School Society, who began advocating Christmas programs for children as a method of filling the pews. The society argued that children could be taught about the birth of Christ through the reenactment of the Nativity.
I don't understand how they mix that and they put Christianity with this thing that they was worshiping on the 25th before the birth of Christ, and then you got the birth of Christ, and then they celebrate this thing, and then they're feeding it. Now in America they're feeding it to the children. Isn't that fucking crazy? They're feeding it to the children, man. Hold on, we're gonna keep going, man. We're gonna build tonight. We're gonna talk tonight, man. I don't know everything. I'm just showing y'all something.
Also offered candy and treats to the children as a means of enticing families into accepting the holiday, despite its notorious history and blatantly pagan roots. The successful technique of bribing children with candy would later be used on an unsuspecting American populace in the effort to promote the acceptance of the pagan rituals of Halloween. However, it was...
So candy was a lure. You don't know, you sending your kids, man, on Halloween to go knock on these people's doors. Y'all think that's innocent, and I don't care how safe it is, how much you behind them knocking on people's door, how safe the people are giving the candy is safe and all that. You are still practicing paganism. As soon as your kid put on that goddamn Halloween mask, you participating. Ain't the devil happy?
The work of England's most popular writer, Charles Dickens, whose ghostly 1843 book, A Christmas Carol, cemented the Christmas holiday in the hearts of Americans forever. Dickens' well-loved story made the pagan Christmas feasts, shining trees, glittering shops, and family warmth irresistible to those wanting to experience the holiday. Coming to America in 1867 to promote his work, Charles Dickens packed theater.
This American Christmas ain't no old shit, man. They just 1867. That's like what, 150 years ago, about 20 years ago. That's yesterday. That's 2 grandmamas ago, man. That's 2 grandmamas ago.
As he read his story to cheering audiences around the country. A Christmas Carol gripped America and destroyed any final attempt to stop the evolution of Christmas.
And I'm not too familiar with the Christmas Carol. But wasn't this shit with this dude named Ebenezer Scrooge, and that was the Christmas Carol? Or I don't know, y'all tell me. He goes to sleep and wake up, and his 3 ghosts, the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas future. And that's what the story was about, okay? 3 spirits came to this man in his sleep. I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong.
By 1875, the Puritans had been beaten, and by 1890, all American states had voted to make Christmas a legal holiday.
Lights, Yuletide, and 12 days of Christmas.
Today's tradition of the Christmas Yule Log stems directly from the worship of the pre-Christian Scandinavian fertility god Yule. The burning of this phallic idol is...
The Yule Log, like I told y'all, it derives from the ancient fertility god. The log that you put in your fireplace is supposed to be a big, thick log. You understand? It's supposed to represent the strength of the phallus. You understand? It's a fertility god. So if you want to have a baby, you want people to have babies in your house, you put that in your fireplace and you burn it. Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Also responsible for the concept of the 12 days of Christmas, which represented the 12 daily sacrifices offered up in the Yule Log's flames.
So the 12 days of Christmas represents 12 days of sacrifice? Wow, bro. We getting deep. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Man, let me keep going, man.
A good example of
Merry Christmas.
the pagan elements of Christmas is the whole concept of Yule. and the Yule Log. The very term is derived from the Norse god Yule, spelled J-U-L. And every year around Christmas time, a huge log was cut down and fashioned into a fertility symbol and then burned for 12 days. And on each successive day, a new sacrifice to the god Yule was performed in the fire, and a new sacrificial victim was burned to death. Sometimes, but not always, these sacrificial victims were human beings. And the whole notion of the 12 days of Christmas also comes to us from this Norse pagan tradition.
In an attempt to blur the origins of this horrific ritual, the Church of Rome placed the first day of the Mass of Christ on December 25th and the 12th day on January the 6th. Despite no scriptural references for January the 6th, it was selected as the day the wise men supposedly arrived to offer gifts to the newborn Christ.
Like the lady just said, Christmas have no scriptural references. You can't find Christmas in the scriptures, man. You is not going to find scripture references on Christmas.
This day, then, has become known as Epiphany.
During the Dark Ages, the European custom of putting an oil-lighted wick lamp in the windows during the 12 days of Christmas signified to neighbors that the occupants were participating in the pagan worship of the phallic idol Yule. In today's commercialism, this is where we get the tradition of decorating our houses with Christmas lights. The Yule Log custom was originally brought over to America by Scandinavian immigrants during the 1600s. And despite attempts to ban the tradition, it has stayed with us to this very day. Today, when we wish someone Yuletide greetings, we are in a sense invoking the power of the fertility god Yule upon that.
So when you tell people happy Yule season or shit like that, you tell them to go have a baby. You tell them to go have a baby. There's nothing wrong with telling married couples to be fertile and stuff like that. But you're talking to people that ain't even under marital situations to go have babies, and we have a problem with that in this country. We have a big problem with that in this country with motherfuckers just having babies, like just to be having fucking babies, man. Deck the halls with bells of holly.
During the Saturnalia celebrations, holly and other greens were hung over doorways as part of a pagan ritual to ward off evil. To deck the halls with boughs of holly was to acknowledge the powers of the nature gods. According to Wiccan rituals, placing holly or other greens in the shape of a circle or wreath accentuated its magical power. Similarly, mistletoe, when used in the casting of Wiccan or Druidic spells.
So hanging mistletoe in your house and hanging up wreaths come from Wiccan practices. Wiccan. Christians, listen to me. Stop putting those wreaths and shit on your door. Stop putting up mistletoe in your house. Okay? You get those practices and you get those traditions from the very people that you call the enemy. You say Satan your enemy. You say you are adversary of the devil. You're worshiping him without even knowing it. We are worshiping Satan without even knowing it, bruh. You've been tricked. You've been duped. You've been bamboozled.
Could render a woman helpless and open to sexual exploitation.
So you got your wife in the house, and you got your daughter in the house, and you got them wreaths and them mistletoes up. You heard what this motherfucking lady just said. It opens women up to sexual desire and stuff like that. So no matter who come in there, I mean, it's okay. It's okay.
This is where we get our custom of hanging mistletoe in doorways today. And if a woman is caught underneath, she may be kissed.
I wish a motherfucker would catch my wife or my daughter under some mistletoe and be like, hey, you gotta kiss me, baby. Man, I knock that motherfucker teeth out, bro. If you know the knowledge.
And must not resist.
They must not resist. Fuck out of here.
All of these things typically come from overtly pagan traditions, typically from Northern Europe, German, Norse, and English.
Likewise, evergreen trees have always represented sex and fertility.
We're going into the Christmas tree now.
During the winter solstice, trees would be chopped down, brought inside, set up, and decorated as idols for worship.
Wow.
The Christmas tree was regarded as a sacred tree. The pagans of Northern Europe typically worshipped trees. They regarded trees and groves as sacred. So the bringing of the tree into the house would be a way of bringing this supernatural source of blessing into your home. That was the whole idea, that there were spirits who resided in the trees.
In the Middle Ages.
Did y'all hear that? Did y'all just hear that? Did y'all just fucking hear that? The man said, when you get these trees and put these trees and decorate them in your house, spirits come with that shit, bro. I ain't put up a Christmas tree in my house, I don't know how long, bro. You would never see me drive around with that bullshit on top of my car. Why would I go to the store and spend $200 on some bullshit like that? Why? You out of your mind thinking that motherfucker shit some innocent shit. There's nothing innocent when you dealing with this motherfucking holiday. Alright? We're gonna keep going.
The tradition of the winter solstice Christmas tree primarily took root in Germany. During his reign, King George I...
And pay attention where all this shit is coming from. Pay attention. Okay, Jesus was born in Africa, right? He's supposed to be born in Africa. Okay? Why is the English and the Europeans and the Nordic, why all of them has grips on this so-called holiday if it's supposed to be the birth of the so-called Messiah that was born in the Middle East? That's a question.
Himself of German extraction, brought the custom to Victorian England. German immigrants settling in Pennsylvania did the same in America during the early 1800s. In 1848, the London Illustrated News.
So the Christmas tree was introduced in the Americas by the Germans. And the funny thing about this shit, they give us this Kwanzaa shit. Ain't no such thing as no damn Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa ain't got nothing to do with what this thing we looking at here. Them Africans wasn't practicing this shit, bro. I don't think they had no idea what the fuck was going on with this kind of bullshit. It's just me. I don't know.
Published this famous engraving depicting Queen Victoria and her royal family beside a decorated Christmas tree. And within a few years, nearly every English household had their own tree in allegiance to the monarchy. By 1900, the U.S. Forest Service estimated that at least 1 in 5 homes in America had adopted the Christmas tree tradition. Thousands of years earlier, God, speaking through the prophet Jeremiah, warned against this pagan practice in the Old Testament. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the ways of the heathen, for the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, they deck it with silver and with gold.
See what I'm saying? That's scripture. That's scripture. It tell you right there, don't put that tree in your house, man. That is damn scripture. You Christians, you believe in the Bible, you believe in Jesus, the so-called Christ and all that, man. You can worship and be festive and do things without practicing none of this paganism, man. That's all I'm saying, man. I'm just telling you that you involving your kids and you surrounding your family around shit that can be detrimental to your spirituality, man. You understand? But we're going to keep going now.
They fasten it with nails and hammers that it move not. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
The jolly old elf. We're going to talk about the elves now.
Santa Claus is another good example of a pagan element of Christmas. Santa Claus, as we know him today, is an amalgamation of several different traditions, but in most cultures throughout the world, you will find the existence of what is known as Hearth Gods, gods who guard the hearth and the chimney and keep the fires burning and make sure the food cooks properly and the people are warm.
So they actually worship gods that hold on. They worship gods that specialize in watching over your chimney. Do you see where this shit going, bruh? Do y'all see where this shit going? I do.
And what have you. And at a certain time of year, in the middle of winter, typically, the hearth god dressed in red will come down the chimney to reward those who have pleased him during the course of the previous year, and to lay curses or hexes or other forms of punishment upon people who have displeased him.
All right. He's taking the list. He's watching whether you naughty or nice, and if you ain't shit, he gonna put a lump of what? Coal in your stocking. That motherfucker watching over your chimney. That motherfucker spirit. This shit is deep, man. We're gonna keep going. I got other stories, but this is kind of interesting. I wasn't gonna talk that long about this, but this is what we need. I need to show my people and show my young people. You understand what's going on? Because I know young people watch me. I know young people listen to me. You understand? This is not coming from a level of hate. I love family gatherings. I love the traditions of coming together and stuff like that. But it's stuff we got to put down as far as the people understand what we're dealing with.
The concept of Santa Claus has had a long and winding history, with a number of diverse cultures contributing to the composite character we have today. Beginning once again in Scandinavia, Santa's original incarnation was in the...
See, Scandinavia. That's where the Santa Claus shit come from. Like I said, who the fuck else in the world was doing this other than the European and the people over there? The Romans. Who else is doing this shit, bruh?
Form of Odin, the pagan god of thunder. A tall fellow with a long flowing beard who inhabited the spirit-infested Nordic forests. Odin would travel the sky during the winter solstice, deciding who would die and who would prosper. Most believers were frightened of this particular time of year. In England, Odin eventually evolved into Father Christmas, who, crowned with sprigs...
Have you ever heard of that too? You watch certain old school Christmas cartoons, what they call them? And there'll be English cartoons, they call them Father Christmas. It's a lot, man. I didn't mean to bring this to y'all like this, man, but I didn't even know this video has so much information in it. I did not know. I thought I have to go off my brain. But I'm just piggybacking off of some real fucking shit. All right, we're going to keep going.
Of Holly travelled to the countryside, getting roaring drunk as part of the Festival of Fools celebration. Frequently, he would be accompanied by a horned goat. Ironically,
Rudolph. He was accompanied by a horned goat. That's where the reindeer come into play, where they switched it from the goats to the reindeer. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer had a very shiny nose. And who the fuck he was with? He was with that goddamn Father Christmas, the goat. And who was the goat?
The biblical symbol of those who reject the salvation of Jesus Christ.
See?
According...
Let me show y'all something. All right, hold on, let me go back.
To the traditions of the Church of Rome. According to the traditions...
We know in the day is a...
Let me go back a little bit. Hold on, y'all.
Of
I'm going to show y'all something.
But in most cultures throughout the...
Will nothing save us from this unholy...
Hold on, let me go back.
The church nevertheless confused biblical history and made Jesus
fit for none but Bacchus or Saturn. But the public's taste execution of King Charles the gifts on December the 20th Mass, the sin and revelry persisted. In 1828, gang rioting during the Saturnalia.
This is the whole concept of
Hold on, that's my place over here.
and the Yule Log. The very term is.
During the Saturnalia celebrations, holly and other greens were hung over doorways as
You will find the existence of what is known as Hearth Gods. Gods.
Okay, we're gonna go back there. I want to show you this picture. That's why I dropped my place. I want to show you this picture. I hold it top to this head because it's quick.
And what have you. And at a certain time of year, in the middle of winter, typically, the curses or hexes or other forms
contributing to the composite character we have today. Beginning once again in Scandinavia, Santa's original incarnation was in the form of Odin, the pagan god during the winter solstice deciding Christmas, who, crowned with goat, ironically the biblical symbol of those who reject the salvation of Jesus Christ. According to the traditions of the Church of Rome, there was a Turkish bishop named Nicholas who hailed from Myra in Asia Minor during the 4th century. He was known as the patron saint of seafaring men. Over the centuries, as the legend began to unfold, it was rumored that St. Nicholas had actually captured the devil himself, put him in chains, and made him his personal servant.
That's okay. Okay, you see what's going on, right? So he's supposed to have overcame the devil. Didn't they say Christ overcame the devil and put him in chains? Bullshit. The cold, y'all.
Recognized in various cultures as Krampus, Beelzebub, or Zwart.
See, Krampus. See, now we starting to. Now you walking with me. Now we walking. Now we walking. Okay. We getting into some real serious shit. Shout out to this video, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Pete, Black Peter. This assistant of St. Nicholas is best known by his German name, Knecht Ruprecht. Described as a hideous horned creature, the servant Ruprecht was a dark and sinister figure who stood in stark contrast to the saintly Nicholas. Somehow, Father Christmas's companion, the horned goat, had metamorphosized into the foreboding horned devil called Ruprecht. As St. Nicholas traveled from house to house, inquiring about the behavior of children.
So, yo, my fault about the Rudolph thing, but the Rudolph thing do tie into it. So what he was saying, that the demon that he had put in chains was the motherfucker that was with him the whole time? I'm kind of confused right now. Hold on, man. What?
Ruprecht would drop candy and gifts down the chimney into the good children's shoes which had been placed there. It was from this story that we get our tradition of hanging stockings on the mantle at Christmas time. If able to recite...
That's where you get the hanging of the stockings come from. He's checking his list and he's checking it twice, going to find out if you what? Naughty or nice. Alright? So, yo, this shit is real deep. What's going on with this Christmas shit, man? I'm just trying to educate my people, man, my Christian people, my Muslim people, my people that's into spirituality, even if you're not in no so-called organized religion. You got to understand when you're dealing with this type of shit that they got going on called Christmas, get out of it.
Verse or demonstrate a skill for St. Nicholas, the child would receive a gift. If unable to remember a verse, or if the child had been bad, he or she would receive a switch or a whip. Ruprecht also carried a large sack which he would frequently...
So Santa sees that you bad over there overseas in England or Scandinavia or whatever they said. If you was good, he'd give you some candy. See, all these religions revolve around candy. Pay attention to that shit. To fuck with the kids. And he said if you was bad, he'll put a switch to your ass. Krampus will come, or whatever they call this name, but I'm saying Krampus because that's what he end up being in certain countries. You understand? He'll put a switch to your ass, like whoop your ass. Yo, Yo, this is very interesting.
Used to haul away the really bad boys and girls.
As more and more Christian churches began combining the pagan rituals of the winter solstice with the celebration of the birth of Christ, emphasis on St. Nicholas's role began to shift.
And that's right. That's right. When they instituted the birth of Christ inside this paganistic religion, like I said, when it came to the United States, that's when they started incorporating this Santa Claus shit. All right, so we're gonna keep going. Sorry, children.
Some cultures began to downplay the role of St. Nicholas, but surprisingly retained Ruprecht.
Eventually, Knecht Ruprecht was made the companion and servant to the Christ child himself. In this,
so they were saying that Krampus was direct companionship with Jesus Christ. Get it? Y'all niggas hear this shit, man? Is y'all really hearing this, man? They're telling you that the so-called Santa Claus was in direct accompaniment with Krampus, or whatever they called them. Then the Krampus was a direct accompaniment with the Christ. Does it make any sense to you guys? All right, we're gonna keep going.
scenario, the devil is actually given the title Weihnachtsmann, or Santa Claus. 19th century writer Theodor Storm, in his story about Knecht Ruprecht, even goes so far as to describe the switches given to the children by Ruprecht as tools to be used in sadomasochistic rituals.
Okay, Ruprecht is the Krampus character, okay? I keep saying Krampus, but his actual name is Ruprecht, okay? Ruprecht is his name, okay? We're going to keep learning about him, all right? Y'all listen.
Soon, the image of Ruprecht would fade from the Christmas tradition, but not his sadistic influence. Many of the early depictions of Santa Claus portrayed him not as a jolly gift giver, but of an unfriendly disciplinarian complete with a ready switch or whip.
That's why Christmas is geared to kids, because it was about disciplining kids and scaring kids and doing shit like that into good behavior. You understand? And then they tied it into religion. Which was dangerous. You understand? What they doing, man, is very dangerous. And I'm so glad that this information is out. But our people is not trying to see this information. They're not trying to read this information. Hell, they wouldn't even go on YouTube and look at a fucking video about the information. They happy with what's going on. And they wonder why so much satanic activity in this world. In your neighborhood, in your house. You don't know why the devil is running rampant. Alright?
One of the problems with the Christmas gift thing for children is that it really is a religious teaching, a wrong religious teaching, because it teaches them that if they're nice, they get the gifts. If they're naughty, they don't. Or in my case, I was taught that he would leave us a bundle of switches. Isn't that interesting? It's a salvation by my own personal virtue. But there's a second thing wrong with it, and that is that they're going to get those gifts whether they're naughty or nice, because most parents love their children.
Facts. Them kids gonna get that shit regardless they was good or bad. Cause I know I buy my kids shit whether they were bad or good all year. They get suspended from school, cuss out some niggas on the corner, little kids, they come back tell me, your son and your daughter were cussing and all that. But at the end of the year on Christmas, I still go out and do for them. I still will cook for them. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the dangerous part about it, like this dude just said, but we're gonna keep going.
And wouldn't dream of, quote, ruining their Christmas. And they're not going to ruin Christmas. They're going to give those children the gifts anyway. And sooner or later, those thinking children are going to realize, I wasn't very nice, but I got the gift anyway. So it isn't important to be nice. It isn't important to do what is right and avoid what is wrong.
German immigrants coming to America during the 1620s tried to influence the New World with the stories of St. Nicholas and his gift-giving companion, Knecht Ruprecht. But
it's the Germans. It's the Germans that came over here really pushing that Ruprecht. It's a German name. They was the ones pushing that Ruprecht. And Ruprecht, like I said, was the angel or the deity that was accompanying this so-called Santa Claus motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? keep going.
Somehow the idea just didn't take hold until almost 200 years later.
In 1819, America's best-selling author, Washington Irving, used his influence to promote St. Nicholas in a popular Christmas story titled Bracebridge Hall. Consulting Irving's writings, Episcopalian minister Clement Clark Moore penned a decidedly secular tale called A Visit from St. Nicholas in 1822. Later retitled The Night Before Christmas, Moore's poem was based on the tales of German and Dutch immigrants who had come to America.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that shit? It was the night before Christmas. All through the night, not a creature was staring. You understand? All that come from Germany, man. They ain't got nothing to do with your fucking people. They ain't got nothing to do with your fucking people, black people, Spanish people. They ain't got nothing to do with your people. And you got this Santa Claus and shit in every language, in every indigenous population in this world, except for some of the remote African colonies and shit. It's everywhere. Okay?
Intended originally only for his own children, Moore's story was published in the Troy Sentinel in New York and became an overnight sensation. Gone were the bishop's remnant of St. Nicholas. He was now a jolly old elf imbued with supernatural powers. Moore had...
Oh, so Santa Claus was actually an elf? I didn't know he was an elf. I thought he ruled the elves. I thought he was the motherfucker popping the whip. But make that goddamn train. Man, you better have them goddamn blocks ready. You ain't got them paint on them blocks. Because all Santa Claus gave people was blocks and trains, choo-choo trains, and motherfucking doll babies and shit. He ain't give out no PlayStations and no serious shit, no bikes and shit, man. He gave you bullshit. You know, the cup with the string on it. You throw the cup, and the ball comes. Alright, we gonna keep going, man. We keep going.
Also replaced Nicholas's companion, the horned necked Ruprecht, with 8 horned magical reindeer.
Wait a minute. Let me back the fuck up. I said Ruprecht or Krampus wasn't Rudolph, but it actually was, because now they're saying he was accompanied by eight reindeers. And understand, you got, let me see. I know the reindeers. You got Donna, Cupid, Blitzen, and then at the end they got one more. It's 8, then it's one more. So it is Rudolph. Oh shit. Y'all niggas, y'all understand what I'm saying? I hope y'all fucking do.
As the popularity of The Night Before Christmas grew, Moore became increasingly concerned that the story's emphasis on the supernatural and its disregard for Christ would reflect poorly on his position as a minister. As a result, he refused to take credit for its creation until the story became so popular that he could no longer resist. 40 years later, illustrator Thomas Nast, political cartoonist for Harper's Weekly, seared the image of Santa Claus into the minds of the world by creating a drawing which combined Moore's jolly old elf with images of St. Nicholas taken from his own native Bavaria. By 1880...
So a Bavarian artist mixed Santa Claus and Krampus together. And it's getting kind of recent. This shit is getting kind of recent, everybody. Pay attention.
Santa was a thoroughly secularized folk hero who had become increasingly irresistible to retailers worldwide.
One factor that has contributed to the paganization of Christmas, the complete paganization of Christmas, has been the element of commercialism. It may seem odd to think of it in that context, but remember that Christ himself identified the love.
And then you mix the root of all evil with that bullshit and that Santa Claus shit, bruh. You got a recipe. You got an ill, disgusting recipe we looking at, bruh. We got a disgusting recipe. Ew, what's cooking and staying? All right, we gonna keep listening.
Of money.
It's gonna be over
as a spiritual
story.
Force in and of itself. And where it comes into play, it has a kind of naturally hostile effect on the gospel and the Christian faith. So the commercialization of Christmas has helped to highlight the pagan elements and to drive the overtly Christian elements.
Make us spend money.
To me, the most obscene thing about Christmas celebrations and customs as we know them is that as a result of these things, Jesus is displaced in the hearts of children by Santa Claus. The love, affection, appreciation.
Facts, Christians. Christians, facts. Santa Claus bigger than your Jesus. Santa Claus is bigger than your Jesus. Do you Christians have a problem with that? But then you go to these churches and they got that fat motherfucker on the wall. And Christmas trees in the church. Wreaths on a church door. Bruh, these what they call them? These clergy leaders really need to deep dive into this Christian phenomenon and really teach their parishioners the proper way to practice these religions and things like that and understand the real birth of Christ. I'm about to pull that up. You know, I wasn't going to go into that, but I might pull that up.
And trust, the desire to emulate these things that they should have in their hearts and minds as growing children for Jesus himself, to whom they owe everything. Instead, this has been stolen. This has been raped out of their hearts, in a sense, and displaced by the myth of Santa Claus.
He takes the place of God or of Jesus Christ in the special world that is Christmas. He has supernatural knowledge of your history. He has supernatural knowledge of your present, of your attitudes. He's keeping a list. He knows who's naughty and nice. Your parents don't even know that. He's obviously got some conduit to knowledge that is beyond the human, and he flies through the air, capable of visiting every place on the globe in the course of a single night. In many, many ways, Santa exhibits supernatural qualities that provide a kind of surrogate deity or a substitute for God or for Christ.
Myths, by definition, evolve and change, and things are added. We used to have a Santa Claus figure that was confused with St. Nicholas and confused with other pagan figures, and then somehow he evolved through the drawings of Thomas Nast and others into what we see today, but he had a sleigh with 8 supernatural reindeer that can fly. And so the Christmas traditions that are pagan continue to change. But the truth of Jesus, the truth of the incarnation, the truth that the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, never changes, never will.
Yo, that's crazy, man. So they sit up here and they tell you that Jesus was born on the 25th, and you got this Christmas thing, and then they takes it and put the Christian religion and mix it with this Mithra religion and put it at the same date, and then they give you this Santa Claus shit in America. And then, like I said, what was our people doing before they instituted this shit? It wasn't no Kwanzaa.
Various scriptures in the Bible, including the 2nd chapter of Luke, record the events surrounding the birth of the Messiah. A decree from Caesar Augustus had gone out, requiring all people to return to the city of their origin for taxation purposes. Mary, who was pregnant with a child conceived by the Holy Spirit, made the difficult journey to Bethlehem along with her husband Joseph. Both Joseph and Mary were of the lineage of King David. Upon arrival, they found all the inns to be full, but were provided with a stable where Mary could have her baby. At the same time, an angel announcing the birth of the Messiah appeared to shepherds tending their flocks in a field nearby. The stunned shepherds hurried to Bethlehem and found the baby Jesus lying in a...
This is another bombshell to that Jesus was born in the manger story. If you look up Greek mythology, Y'all like Hercules? Y'all like the story of Hercules? Y'all like watching Hercules movies on TV? Yeah, he was so strong, beating everybody's ass. He had the same beginnings and birthings like Jesus. But the only difference between Joseph and Hercules' daddy cursed God in the writings. He cursed God. He wanted to fight Zeus. He wanted to kill Zeus. Rightfully so, man. Motherfucker came down here and fucked his wife and got her pregnant. He came down here and fucked. Zeus came down here and got, you know what I'm saying, that lady pregnant and had Hercules. And he didn't accept Hercules. Hercules' siblings didn't accept him. But then you got the same story with this Christ figure. Think about this. Look at this shit, bruh. Pay attention to what I'm saying. Fuck what I'm saying. Go read on it. I'm not the end all be all to this conversation. You got to look at this shit for yourself. Not out of disrespect for anybody's religion or anybody what they worship. You got to look and read this shit for yourself.
Just as the angel had declared. Although traditional nativity scenes placed 3 wise men at the stable at the time of Jesus Christ's birth, according to scripture, these wise men visited Jesus later at his home. Because 3 gifts are named.
And the thing is, man, about black people is so sad. You know, they tell us about the birth of Jesus and all this and all that. And we question whether it was a real birth or anything like that. You start talking about shit, and we all be running around here talking about what flavor it is. Is it chocolate or is it vanilla? But in all actuality, it's a story that really needs to be looked into as far as like us believing wholeheartedly into something. And it's another thing when you talk about the flavors of the ice cream. But I'm not here to talk about the flavors of the ice cream. I'm here to talk about the actual shit that they telling us. Okay? All right, let's keep going.
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh. Tradition says 3 men gave them, but exactly how many wise men visited Jesus is not known. The birth of Jesus Christ miraculously fulfilled a number of Old Testament prophecies about the coming Messiah, including that he would be born in Bethlehem, that he would be born of a virgin, and that he would be a descendant of King David's.
The concept or the idea of celebrating the birth of Jesus once a year had apparently never occurred to the church fathers. In the first 3 centuries of the church's history, there was no such thing. And I think God perhaps very carefully avoided telling us in the scriptures when he was born. We can be sure of what...
God ain't avoid nothing. God ain't avoid nothing. There's no scriptures, or if I may be wrong, there's nothing telling us in our actuality he was born on the 25th. Of all we know, that man could have been born in the summer. And these clergy is not telling the right story neither. They're on the right track to tell us where the paganistic, having us understand the paganistic origins of this shit. But they really not trying to come clean with telling you the actual truth.
One thing, it wasn't in late December, and because in the first place, shepherds don't abide by their flocks in the fields by night in late December. It's too cold. They take them out in the morning.
Didn't I say that shit, man? Didn't I just say that shit, y'all? He said, how can that man be born in it like that and it's cold on the 25th? How can he do that? You understand? How can he do that? But we're going to keep going.
Pasture, protect them while they eat all day and then bring them back in at night. So it wasn't in late December. It's an interesting thing and perhaps an intellectually tantalizing thought to try to figure out when he was born. And it can be done within limits. And if it mattered, and apparently it doesn't matter to God, he was probably born in late September.
Some scholars point out that according to scripture, The birth of Jesus may have taken place in the first day of the Feast of Tabernacles or September 29th. Ironically, this...
See, it was kind of hot around that time, man. How can you have a baby in a manger and it's cold as fuck outside? And so and animals in there stinking. You got all types of risk of disease. And then on top of that, she was born out of virgin birth. Don't you know 0.1% of anybody living in the history of the world experienced asexual birth? Do you guys know what asexual birth means? Asexual birth is when you have a baby without no partner. A woman can just lay in the bed and just be thinking to have a baby, then all of a sudden a baby is formed. That's called asexual reproduction. Humans don't possess that ability to perform asexual reproduction in a high percentage rate. So we're going to keep going.
Would have placed his conception right around December 25th. The timing of other events such as the temple service of Zacharias and the pregnancy of Mary's cousin Elizabeth lent credence to December 25th as being the date of Jesus' conception.
Since Christians believe that life begins at conception anyway, and not at birth as pro-abortionists believe, this may be a more appropriate reason to remember this time of the year as the period in which God came to earth in human form.
For some, Christmas today simply means a time to get together as a family. For pagans, it is a deeply religious time to celebrate the winter solstice.
They do sacrifices, sexual debauchery, drunkenness, lewdness, disrespect, everything in the name of representing this so-called fucked up holiday. You understand? We're gonna keep going.
Retailers, of course, view it with eyes towards making huge profits. Others use this time to reflect on the birth or conception of Jesus Christ, while many parents use Christmas to perpetuate the myth of Santa Claus to their children.
In order to carry on this myth of Santa Claus, we must lie to our children. We must deceive them. We literally must lie.
I refuse to tell my kids about some goddamn Santa Claus. I would never tell my kids that a fat motherfucker came in here and gave them clothes and jewelry and toys and shit that I bought. I'm not even gonna say I'm Santa Claus. Ain't no such thing as that motherfucker. Daddy, I'm God to my children. I'm not giving another entity motherfucking goddamn props on what the fuck I did. All I can say is I thank the Most High for giving me the ability and the strength to go to work and provide for my children. I'm not going to give my credit to no fat motherfucker. But we're going to keep on because we almost at the end of this segment of my show.
To our children. And one of the wonderful things about children is that they naturally believe everything that we tell them when they're small.
Yeah, they do.
They trust us to tell them the truth. And if we deceive them in this way, it has to be destructive, because at some point in their future lives, they're going to wonder if other things we told them were true. The things we told them about the Lord.
Yeah, I remember at an early age, man, I was about 8 years old, man. I found out that shit wasn't real, bro. I ain't gonna lie, I believed in this shit when I was a baby. I watched the cartoons. I received the gifts. I see the Christmas cards and all the shit with this white motherfucker, fat motherfucker on there with these rosy ass cheeks with that goddamn demon ass goat with him, Rudolph. I believed in them niggas. And then by the time I got big, I said, yo, man, some places I lived, I didn't even have a fucking chimney. How the fuck is this man getting in my house? How the fuck he getting in my crib? I questioned that. I always questioned things as a young child. And I come to find out he wasn't real early. I stopped getting Christmas gifts at 12, bro. Because I ain't believe in it. I wasn't studying it at 12 years old. Didn't understand why I wasn't studying it. but I just wasn't studying it. All I know, I woke up and saw Atari games. I saw bikes, posters, you know, my skull caps and some socks my aunts gave me and shit, uncles gave me. Stuff like that, man. That's all I know. When I woke up and saw a Christmas tree in the house, and it's real pretty in the house. You know, I mean, that's what I grew up on. But then I got grown and started raising my own kids, and then the questions really started arising. You know, why take one day out of a year to be a good person, to look out for the less fortunate, when you can do it all year? So y'all niggas miss me with that fake ass shit. If I had means and I had things to take care of a lot of people, I would do it. Anybody in my vicinity needs stuff, I would do stuff they need. I wish I had those opportunities that I could help people without telling them it ain't come from no goddamn Santa Claus. It came from a black man that cared.
Were they really true? It plants the seeds of doubt. And anyway, it creates disappointment. It creates disillusionment.
To my mind, the question is not so much whether to celebrate Christmas or even how to celebrate Christmas, but to be able to make any decision knowledgeably. Whether you celebrate it or you don't celebrate it, you should know why you're doing so. You should.
That's what I was just telling you. That's what I was just telling you. If you want to celebrate it, you want to be in family gatherings, you want to cook, you want to do things like that, understand why you're doing it. We don't call it Christmas in my house. We don't call it Christmas. My kids, we don't do that. We call it Family Day. Because we don't have to work. We don't have to go to school. All we do is sit around and what? Be around family. We call it Family Day. Okay? Family Day. Ask any of my kids, they're going to say, what day we going to eat and all that. They're like, Family Day. We don't say Christmas. And we laugh at the very notion of a Santa Claus. Man, my daughters and them, they laugh like a motherfucker at that shit, bro. I think I'm going to prank my kids and I'm going to come in looking like Santa Claus and see what they say. I'm going to put on some fat shit. I'm going to put on some stuff inside my shirt like I got a big stomach. And I'll put on a beard and I'm going to go in the house on some bullshit and I want to see how they look at me. They don't like that. I don't think they'll take the joke. I don't think my kids will take the joke. They'll look at me like that. Take that shit off, man. That shit ain't cool, man. That shit scaring me, bro. Give me nightmares, bro. My 2-year-old son will tell me I'm giving them nightmares, bro. Now, I ain't going to do it because they'll say that. They'll say that. It wouldn't even be a cool joke. It'd be like I'm traumatizing my kids. I'm not going to do that.
Understand what the pagan roots of Christmas are, and with that knowledge, you can discount them or ignore them if you choose to do so.
It is not the purpose of this film to tell you which Christmas rituals should and should not be practiced by you and your family. This is between you and the...
None of them. Don't you practice that Christmas tree, that Yule Log, those wreaths, that mistletoe, that eggnog, the 12 days of Christmas, all that shit, y'all need to throw the fuck away. And then, like I said, when people ask about shit, black people always ask what flavor it is. That's why they gave you Kwanzaa. Ain't no fucking such thing as no Kwanzaa, man. They won't celebrate no Christmas in Africa. Did you hear anywhere in these things where I just showed you on this video that any of this shit originated from Africa? No.
What Christians should be most concerned about, however, are the growing pagan influences infiltrating every area of our rapidly degenerating society.
Recently, we took our cameras to the Nevada desert, where we witnessed 35,000 pagans from around the country participating in a week-long celebration of sex, drugs, and hedonism.
That's what they're doing around the world on Christmas.
Everything is permissible and encouraged, except for the adoration of Jesus Christ.
Christmas ain't got nothing to do with the birth and the death of Jesus Christ. For the record, Christmas ain't got nothing to do with Jesus Christ. if you believe in Jesus Christ. He has no influential prospect of anything in this religion. You are practicing paganism.
In nearly every ritual performed, Christianity was mercilessly mocked and despised. Each year, the numbers of participants continue.
Oh yeah, and Christmas was just recently reinstated because it was always outlawed in America. Like I said, they was using A Christmas Carol. They was using English monarchs to promote the Christmas tree to America, and America just adopted it. Because by spirit and nature, that's what their blood is into. Paganism. You can't outrun what your blood is.
Continues to grow. Its attraction is expanding worldwide as it recruits through the internet. It is sobering to witness what could be the wave of the future unfolding before our eyes.
It is not only permitted in the public schools, in the government schools, to celebrate holidays. It is encouraged and in some instances required. But with this condition, they must be pagan. They must not be Christian. And Christmas time, they're certainly encouraged to put on Christmas programs and Christmas plays. But
you damn right. You can't put on no Christmas play talking about Jesus, the real so-called Christian Jesus. You can't represent the real Christmas Jesus. You only can do paganism. Only Santa Claus suits. Only Rudolph. Only snowmen. You know. Only all that bullshit is accepted. You going into my, I want to celebrate the birth of my Lord and Savior and all that. Man, you get shut down. You get shut down. Come on, Christians, stop giving your energy to this bullshit, because this bullshit don't do nothing for your life but give you a high-ass light bill and headaches when you kids ain't got the shit that they want to have. It's motherfuckers out there arguing with their kids right now because they ain't get them the right shit, and they'll destroy their relationship for life. Facts. But I'm going to keep going with the rest of this. I'm going to take me a little break.
All references to Jesus, all references to the gospel, all references to the incarnation, all references to God must be omitted. They sing about Santa Claus, they sing about Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And
here comes Santa Claus, here comes Santa Claus. Hey.
God only knows what else they sing about that isn't scriptural.
Since the pagan elements in Christmas are so strong, and they provide virtually the entirety of the structure and the content of the holiday, there is no Christian element in the holiday.
We're going to leave it right there. And I'm going to go ahead and take a break. Man. I'll be right back. We're gonna go back to this thing, man. And that was my story on the religion, the origins of the religion, man. That shit is crazy, man. Y'all practicing something that you have no idea what you're doing. Okay? You putting up those Christmas trees in your house. You bringing spirits in your house. You putting wreaths on your door. You put mistletoe in your house. You understand? It comes from ancient European debauchery. I'm talking to my black people and my Spanish people. What the fuck you was doing before Christmas? Who was you worshiping before Christmas? It wasn't Jesus. Jesus is a late addition. No disrespect to nobody's religion. No disrespect to anybody's beliefs. But we have to call spades here. And it's 2021, about to be 2022. When is going to be enough is enough for us understanding and not understanding what's going on with the fucking world, how they try to program our minds. But I'm going to save all that for my final thought. I'm going to go into my next story. Okay? All right. The next story, man, we're going to talk about the Omicron. The Omicron. It's called Omicron infections of the coronavirus. Now identified. Okay, we're gonna go into that.
Shop Dick's Sporting Goods now for the best selection of holiday gifts. Like fleece for the best brands. Save on select drivers from Callaway, TaylorMade, and Cobra. And 50%
they make you watch. They make you watch commercials before the video. In the video is crazy.
Here at home, Omicron infections have now been identified in over a third of the nation. Reason for concern, but
before I go into this, people. Before I go into this, man. Hey, y'all motherfuckers tired of this shit, bruh. I'm tired of this bullshit, man. They keep making up new names for this shit every fucking day, man. Telling you why you need to go get this motherfucking jab. I don't give a fuck, people. Hold out on that shit, bro. If you can, if you got a job and you got a 6-figure job and you got to take the jab and you got to do that for your family, you want to take one for the team for your family, I can't knock you for that shit, my nigga. You want to finish your degree, you want to play them sports, you want to rap and sing at these arenas, and you want to take that jab, go ahead and do it, man. Take one for the team, man, for your family, man, for the greater good for your family. Because it's not going to end well with these niggas playing with human health, man. You got a lot of unscientific motherfuckers running this shit, bruh. Niggas like Bill Gates. He don't know shit about human health. He's a motherfucker computer software making motherfucker. What do you know about what the fuck go in your body? Dr. Fauci, the motherfucker that ran that motherfucker AIDS epidemic. Running that AIDS medicine, AZT, which actually gave you full-blown AIDS when you get HIV. Like I said, man, if that's in your heart and that's how you want to take care of your family, do it. I'm not knocking you. But to my people that's holding out, stay strong. The lie is about to be uncovered. The lie is about to be uncovered. A lot of motherfuckers is going to get prosecuted behind this, bro. That's worldwide. Hold on. God is going to prevail with this. The Most High is going to unlift all veils of this shit. Trust and believe it. If you suffering and you going through things because you torn between getting this thing and doing what you got to do to get your motherfucking bag and it's stopping you from your bag because you got to get that shit, God bless you. God bless you. But this shit right here is about to be uncovered because they can't keep coming up with new different strands every fucking week. They can't keep doing it. People gonna look at that shit like, man, get the fuck out of here. That's probably how people looking at it now. Like me. At first they said kids couldn't get it. Now kids can get it and you gotta give your kids that bullshit. I would not put that kid shit in my kid's body, bro. They won't put that in my body. They won't put that in me over my dead fucking body, nigga. God bless you if you took it. God bless you if you needed to take care of your family, like I keep saying. Busy MC ain't fucking with it. Survey says top 10 things Busy MC ain't doing in 2022. Not taking a jab for 200, Alex. No, so here we go.
Not alarmed. The new variant is not fueling the current spike in cases in the U.S. What we're seeing at hospitals like this one and across swaths of the country are a direct and deadly result of Delta. Fatalities up 57% since last week.
They lying like a motherfucker. Go to your local hospital. Everybody hear me. Everybody hear me? Go to your local hospital. Go look around. Go say your toothache. Go say your tooth hurt. Lie and say your teeth hurt. And go and try to see a doctor. Just say your finger hurt or something hurting and you go get checked out. You ain't gonna see a soul in that motherfucker with that goddamn shit, bro. You ain't gonna see a soul with that shit, bro. Bro, what they trying to do, they're trying, like, we are under Agenda 21. The depopulation program, bro. Like I said, y'all niggas better hold on, man. A lot of people gonna fall off behind this shit, bro. And it's gonna be motherfuckers you love that screaming at you to go get that bullshit.
Hospitals, particularly in our state, we see all 7 of our regional hub hospitals have ICU capacities well above 100% of their licensed capacity.
They lying.
Delta is driving 99% of new
and they said the Omicron variant in at least 21 states. I put this live. I put my life. I put my motherfucking check that all 21 of these states are democratically run states. And I'm not a Republican nor Democrat. I just follow this shit. I'm following this shit, bro. All 21 of them goddamn states that's going through this shit is going through this shit as far as like democratically, man. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not neither. But shout out to the motherfucking people, man, that's seeing through this shit and not putting their people through their bullshit, bro. Some of them stupid as fuck. Some of them dumb as fuck. Some of them say dumb ass shit. But they stand in the way of total annihilation of American society. And that's a fact. That's a damn fact.
Infections in the U.S., fear is fueling Omicron concerns. Today, the White House COVID task force.
Shout out to all my people listening to this. This is very important information.
The explosion of new Omicron cases in South Africa, still exploring its transmissibility.
And they easily tell you it's fucking things going on in South Africa because South Africa is ran by the European. And the European dictates all the things out there. You go to the rest of Africa, ain't no Omicron out there. Them motherfuckers look at you like you fucking crazy. They put that in South Africa. South Africa even has crack. South Africa has cocaine. South Africa has AIDS. South Africa has prostitution, Europeanized prostitution. South Africa makes porn. South Africa has gangs. They adopt all the ills of America because the Euro run it like the Euro run it in America.
Officials say because of the virus's many mutations, early evidence suggests increased infectivity. For that reason, it could become the dominant strain here at home.
I think it's unclear at this point what that would mean if Omicron were to replace the Delta variant. It's a combination of adding Omicron into everything else that we're dealing with is what's cause for concern.
Expected to be detected across the country in the coming days, Omicron appears to be infecting Americans through community spread. Too early to know.
And what's funny, it was funny since this Omicron thing came on. Y'all paying attention to all the celebrities now talking about they got that shit? Y'all paying attention to this shit, bruh? YouTube, people on YouTube saying they got it. Like I watch a lot of YouTube niggas. Now they coming up saying they got it on athletes, actors, singers, rappers. Now all of a sudden these motherfuckers getting it. They passing money off to that shit, bruh. They passing money to tell people that they got it. Bruh, them niggas ain't got no goddamn Omicron, whatever the fuck that is, a Marion, whatever the fuck that shit is, bruh. Touch. Touch. They got the touch, nigga. Turn the lights off.
You know what I'm saying?
The true severity of the disease, anecdotal evidence suggests it might be less severe than Delta, but many of the infected are young and healthy. Some of the sick were vaccinated and even boosted.
Oh, so they saying motherfuckers who are vaccinated and had the booster can still get the Omicron? When is enough of this dumbass shit? Keep lining up for that dumbass shit, man. Keep lining up for that dumbass shit. You look for bullshit, you won't find it. Now the young. At first they said the young couldn't get fucked with, now the young. Are you fucking kidding me, bro?
A critical layer of protection, especially now, say experts.
I would not at all be surprised if it's somewhat a little less effective, but I'd be very surprised if it didn't provide any protection at all.
Still, fearing a wave of new infections, some companies, including Ford, are rethinking or delaying a return to work. But authorities say,
oh, off the cuff, and I'm not trying to change the subject or nothing, but they're coming out with the home test for the COVID. They're coming out with the home test for the COVID. And guess who has the patent for the home test? The Rothschilds. Look up the Rothschilds. The Rothschilds are the richest family that owns everything in the world. The Rothschild is at the top of the pyramid when it comes to fucking money. And they got the motherfucking patent on the home test. Blah.
Family gatherings this holiday are safe if Americans follow long-standing advice.
Know this, everyone in North America is either going to get vaccinated or you're going to get COVID.
Tonight, preparing for Omicron, still facing Delta.
And Miguel, with Omicron cases rising, what is the CDC's latest recommendations on Americans who want to travel during the holidays?
Well, Lester, the CDC says for those who want an added layer of protection, those at-home testing kits can provide just that if you take one before meeting.
See, I just told you that they didn't even mention the at-home test. So they brought that into what I was saying. The Rothschilds got the patent on the motherfucking goddamn home test, man. They getting paid off of all of this shit, bruh. Just like how they got paid off drugs. We get the drugs, we get locked up, we gotta buy lawyers, we pay the court system. Bruh, it's a racket. We're going through a health racket now. And if you listening to me, you understand what I'm saying. We going through a health racket.
Family. Meantime, by next week, it's expected we'll know more about the variant, including how well vaccines protect us.
Those vaccines are not protecting us because they ain't been tested. They ain't been tested on animals. They ain't been tested in clinical trials nowhere. They just making up shit, putting it in your motherfucking arm, bruh. I'm putting myself at risk just telling you this shit, bruh. Because I don't give a fuck, bruh. I got to tell my family. I got to tell my people. I don't give a fuck about this. All this music shit and all that shit is byproduct of what I do in my life. But what I love to do is inform my people of what's going on in America and abroad. I'm deeper than what you see. I'm way deeper than this shit, bro. That's why I don't run in certain circles. I don't conversate with certain niggas on my live. I don't do certain things because I realize certain niggas ain't on my level. And I have to only talk with like-minded people. Like I said, 2022, man, I'm gonna have some intelligent motherfuckers on my show, bro. I'm bringing intelligence to my show, bro. we gonna be talking about some shit where we opening niggas' minds. We ain't bringing misinformation to the community, my nigga. We ain't doing it. We ain't doing it, man. We can't do it, man. You understand? We got people out here like capping for this shit so hard, man. So hard. And I wish we stop. I wish we stand up to this shit. Other countries are standing up. But as black people, we can't stand up because we so busy standing against each other, we don't even realize what the fuck going on. That's why I'm bringing these stories. I'm not going to cover gang violence because we know black on black is stupid. I know killing another nigga is stupid if it ain't justified. Come on, bruh. You violate my kids, I catch you in my house, I'm gonna kill you. But if you don't do that, I'm not gonna mess with you. You understand what I'm saying? Do you get what I'm saying? Stop falling for the fear-mongering shit. Stop falling for it, man. And if you took the jab, like I said, God bless you. And if you want to do that for the betterment, for the greater good for your family, and you trying to take one for the team, God bless you. I wish you the best, and I hope nothing don't happen. Because I'm going to sit around and look at this shit. For this shit turn into the book of Eli, some shit like that, man. Or what they call that shit, Resident Evil, nigga. Or I Am Legend, nigga. You heard what I Am Legend said? The reason why that whole shit started because they thought they found the cure for cancer and people was taking the cancer vaccine. The movies is telling you. The movies is telling you, bro. They told, like in the book of Eli, they told us about the water. Like 87% of the water is filled with venereal disease medicine, gonorrhea medicine. Look it up. We drinking that water out the faucet full of mercury and gonorrhea medicine. This place we live in a cesspool of sickness. And it's gonna take only God or the Most High or your Jesus or your Muhammad or your Allah or your Krishna or whatever you believe in to get us out of this. Because Satan is real. Satan is very real. Okay? And I'm going to go on to the next story. Okay? All right. Remember the Build Back Better bill that Joe Biden is trying to put out where he's trying to create infrastructure and the better improvement of poverty and things in America and whatever he's trying to do. I kind of read the thing, and this senator from West Virginia named Bill Manchin, he was the only vote to see if it go through or not. And he said no. You understand? As an American citizen, some of that bill touches a lot of poor. It touches a lot of poor. It hits home. But the rest of that bill, bruh, y'all people out here talking about, yeah, F that dude, he voted it down so we can't get that extra $600-700 a month and all this and all that. Nah, man, this dude, without any bullshit, man, did that for good reason. He did that shit for good reason. We're gonna go into it right now.
If you only list your vacation home on Airbnb,
Back Better plan saying
we're going to listen to what the Democrats say.
Democratic Senator Joe Manchin announced he will not support President Biden's social and climate spending plan. He said, quote, "If I cannot go home and explain it to the people of West Virginia, I can't vote for it." Manchin is representing a state where President Biden lost by 40 points in the 2020 election. West Virginia's population is less than 2 million, but it has one of the highest poverty rates in the nation. According to the nonpartisan initiative Spotlight on Poverty and Opportunity, the poverty rate in West Virginia is 19%.
You know, I really don't care about the poverty rate in West Virginia. The poverty rate for black Americans been at an all-time high since the motherfucking 60s and the 50s, bro. Now all of a sudden they want us to care about West Virginians. And we're not talking about the African American or the black West Virginians. They talking about, when they say rural, they talking about Europeans. They're not talking about black. When they say urban, they say black. So when they say rural, they talking about the white people. You understand what I'm saying? And it's kind of fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Because he said some fucked up things too. I'm gonna tell you about it, but we're gonna listen to this. We're gonna listen to this because I'm not neither side. I'm not racist. I love everybody, but I'm just telling you what the fuck these motherfuckers state.
The child poverty rate is 25%. For more on West Virginia, I want to bring in Alex Thomas. He's an anchor and reporter for West Virginia Metro News. Alex, welcome. Thanks very much for being with us. So West Virginia is a state, as we said, with high levels of poverty. What did the state stand to lose and gain from the president's social and climate spending bill?
Right. And the Democrats are trying to pull our heartstrings with this West Virginia shit. You understand? They ain't gonna pull my motherfucking heartstrings with this West Virginia shit because it stings, and I can't even say it right now. It stings in that bill that I'm glad they killed that shit. And I'm gonna let you know, and I'm gonna let you hear it. You understand what I'm saying? So don't act like it's just racist motherfuckers that don't want nobody to do nothing and all that. Nah, bro, if this bill was about helping the American people, it would have passed. This bill was not made to help the American people.
And thank you, first of all, for having me. The big things with this bill, when I was reaching out to progressive groups and other groups here in West Virginia, were regarding paid family leave and the child tax credits. They really emphasized the importance of those two measures with the Build Back Better plan, saying a state like West Virginia, as you mentioned, with high levels of poverty.
See, they're gonna promote what they was gonna do for the American people and paint him a villain for not voting for stuff that'll help the American people. But just listen, they're gonna paint the narrative like, this dude is the devil since reincarnate and all this motherfucking shit. But they don't understand the devil is in the details of that bill. We're gonna go. Let's go.
We needed those two provisions in that more than anything else, trying to help families get out of the economic conditions that they're in and provide them more money to help their children as well. According to the West Virginia Center on Budget and Policy, households of 346,000 kids benefited from the child tax credit, and now that credit is going away at the end of the year, and there's no future in sight.
So given all that, how is this playing out, the fact that Senator Manchin is resisting the president's spending plan?
When I reached out to those groups yesterday and today, the big shock wasn't necessarily that he was against it, but the fact it happened on the Sunday before Christmas, the timing of it with everything going on.
You see how they try to pull your heartstrings? He shut it down before Christmas. He's not going to pass the bill before Christmas. He's such a devil. I don't fuck with government, period. But to me personally, I think this man made the right decision. Listen to this. Hear me out. Listen to this.
They were a little disheartened, but at the same time, they do believe that there is opportunity for growth here, opportunity to reach a compromise with the senator and other individuals. This is going to be a lengthy.
And you really can't trust a Democrat that's leaning Republican anyway. You can't trust him, bruh. How the fuck you gonna serve both sides? Like God said, be ye lukewarm, I spew you out my mouth. This motherfucker lukewarm, man, but he did the right thing, bro, for American citizens, man. Listen to this shit, man.
The process, trying to figure out what common ground they can really move forward on. But one thing that I did mention, that child tax credit, they really feel that they do have the senator's ear with that, and they are hopeful that in 2022 they can really push forward and get something longer and better in the process.
Yeah, we help the American people.
It's a really busy time of year. It's the holidays, but
when it's only about the American people.
With West Virginians, is there any way to
I feel bad for them West Virginians,
how they're feeling about what
they with the American people
that he's taken on this?
Right. West Virginia is a very conservative state. A lot of Republicans were praising Senator Manchin, Representative Carol Miller, for instance, saying that the senator represented West Virginia's values by coming out against the Build Back Better plan. At the same time, though, those progressive groups, those individuals who have those progressive values were very surprised by his automatic, I'm not going to support this during Fox's programming yesterday. They're still hopeful, though, but at the same time, that shock really hasn't worn off. And especially during this very busy week, it's probably not going to wear off until we get into 2022 when they can lay down a foundation on where they want to go in the future.
Well, clean energy spending has been a sticking point for Senator Manchin. Despite promises from former President Trump to bring back coal jobs to West Virginia, the state employs about half as many coal workers as it did 10 years ago. How does coal factor into Senator Manchin's stance?
I really don't think it factors as a major issue. From when I've talked to him earlier this month in his office at the Capitol, to when I've met with his staff and met with other individuals, coal is obviously a big factor. It is a big player here in West Virginia. But at the same time, the senator recognizes that coal's future is not as strong as its past. He realizes that West Virginia...
Because it's not strong as its past, because we have better things to use. We have better technology. We have better things to utilize as far as like putting out energy. If you look at Spider-Man with Dr. Octopus made a fake sun that can motherfucking power the whole fucking world. But technology is there. Coal is really an outdated source of energy that they're trying to bring back. Because the powers that be makes money off those outdated situations. That's why they keep marijuana down, because you can use marijuana for damn near everything from paper to fucking clothes.
It needs to be heading in a new direction. He introduced legislation earlier this year trying to find economic opportunities for these communities. He realizes that.
Play this video to hear the Democrats out.
This is a huge proposal here that the president and Democrats put forward. If it was something that in piecemeal where they did bit by bit, maybe the senator could have come around and supporting it. But at the same time, with as massive as a proposal as this was, there was... See what he said?
See what he said? You didn't notice what this motherfucker just said. He said maybe some of the bill that, you know, that they don't agree with, they know goddamn well I'm going to show y'all what they fucked them, these people that motherfucker didn't agree with. And I agree with why he didn't agree.
Just no way.
Well, Senator Manchin is a Democrat in a largely Republican state. How has he walked that line of maintaining his party identity with the political realities on the ground?
Right. He's always maintained that he's a West Virginia Democrat. He thinks independently from the national party. And that's really important to him. He understands rural America better than I think a lot of people in Washington do when it comes to just the policy side of things. He understands that, yes, these proposals could have a large benefit. At the same time, though, in West Virginia, that has not yet fully evolved into the 21st century when it comes to its economy, it's not going to be beneficial to sit here and say, hey, we're going to move in this direction while you guys are still struggling at 40.
Shout out to all the men that stood with me and helped me
in the long
this
run,
week and made this show possible.
Make better national policy, but also make West Virginia a better state where kids want to move to, where kids want to continue living. Parents don't want to see their kids move to Columbus or Charlotte or DC. They want their kids here. And they have to have economic opportunities in order.
They will have economic opportunities if the American public takes care of its citizens. Take care of the citizens. Yeah, I heard the Democrats right there. I heard them out. But let me take you to this other senator that's on the floor of the floor of the Congress, and he's explaining a couple of things that kills this bill indefinitely. All right, listen to this shit. Listen. That bill was dead on arrival with this bullshit.
More people estimate.
Gentlemen from
Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, at this time I am pleased to recognize a member of
this bill was dead on arrival with this bullshit. Fuck the Democrats fuck the American people up, y'all.
Gentlemen's recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in strong opposition to the rule, but specifically against this massive multi-trillion-dollar tax and spend bill. Of course, we just got the text last night, over 2,300 pages, and as we've been combing through,
the bill is 2,300 fucking pages. Who sat there and made 2,300 pages worth of this bullshit? And about, out of those 23 pages, only 2 pages serves the American people. Facts. I've read it.
I'd like to point out a few pieces in this bill. Let's start with a natural gas tax. President Biden promised that anyone who makes less than $400,000 a year won't spend a dime, will not pay a dime in new taxes. He even whispers it into the microphone. The only problem is he breaks the promise right here in the bill, a tax that, according to the American Gas Association, will increase household electricity rates by 30%. And by...
All right, West Virginians. So if we pass that bill, they're gonna raise your taxes, your electric bill. Your electric bill gonna jump up 30%. Joe Biden trying to sneak one in on y'all niggas, man. He try to sneak something in on y'all, bro. The okie doke. That ain't nothing but the goddamn okie doke. All right, come on, let's keep going.
The way that's low-income families that pay that tax.
We gonna pay that shit, bro.
Promised by President Biden right there. Then you go down and you look at amnesty. It's been talked about. Millions of additional people will get amnesty in this bill.
And amnesty is when you get all those illegal immigrants. We're not talking about the people that went through the proper channels to get legalized in this country to be citizens. We talking about the motherfuckers that's just chilling over here and ain't did no proper protocols to become citizens. They just over this motherfucker. And watch what the fuck they get. Man, black woman. We've been in this country, man, I've been in this country 47 years and we ain't never had no money thrown at us like this. Check this shit out.
No, and it comes at a time where President Biden is negotiating. Initially, he said he wasn't, and then the White House had to go back up and say the Justice Department is negotiating $500,000 checks to people who came across our border illegally.
So they trying to give illegal immigrants $500,000 fucking dollars, bruh. Kill that fucking bill. I go to work. I take care of my family. I go hustle. Don't pass that fucking bill. These motherfuckers talking about giving illegal immigrants $500,000 per person. That would destroy America. I don't know whether you believe in a sense of country and fiscal responsibility, but giving illegals $500,000, bro, they gonna be riding, man. They gonna be on top of your ass, black man, poor white person. They gonna be on our ass, telling us we ain't shit because the Democratic government gave them all that goddamn money. A motherfucker ain't got no birth certificate, no green card, no nothing gonna tell you you ain't shit. And you been working at goddamn Walmart for 20 years. You been at your plant for 30 years and this motherfucker get $500,000. And motherfucker been in this country, never seen $500,000 in their fucking life. What?
And then they're gonna
kill the bill
to millions more people. Estimates are 7 million more people. Can you imagine the flood that will come over when they hear that you can get $500,000 a person?
Mm-hmm. If that bill, sorry y'all, if that bill would have passed, bruh, it'd be people coming out the woodworks, coming from all walks of life, not just Mexicans. It'd have been people from all walks of life coming here and getting that fucking bread, bruh. $500,000. Black man, you won't own no business in this country. You will be nothing more than a piece of fucking cattle. Do you understand what I'm saying? How the fuck You're not going to promise the average American citizens $500,000, but you're going to give it to illegal immigrants. This ain't no racist bullshit. I kind of agree with these motherfucking Republicans on this level. We can't give illegal immigrants $500,000 a person. We ain't got the money. We busy trying to talk about reparations. They getting our reparations, bruh. That's black people's reparations, man. You give each illegal immigrant $500,000, bruh. Man, we better not talk about reparations if that Biden bill passed. We ain't got no room to talk about reparations. We're done. They're going to start forming all the businesses. They're going to start running all the jobs. They're going to be CEOs and things. And then some smart motherfucking immigrants going to come over here. They smart, bruh. These people ain't dumb, bro. These people gonna come over here and get $500,000, bro, and own half of the state. Then they gonna start running for Congress. Then they gonna start being the police. Then they gonna start being our doctors. They already are fucking doctors, but they gonna start running the whole factions of society of America. So your American citizenship ain't gonna mean nothing. Do y'all niggas understand that shit? It's not gonna mean nothing.
If President Biden gets his way, then you go down the line. There's more, unfortunately. Let's we'll comb through IRS agents. How many of us have our phones ringing off the hooks with people calling saying, please add 87,000 more IRS agents to the rolls? Not one of us has probably gotten that call, yet they put it in the bill. They call this infrastructure. They call this equity, whatever they want to call it.
So rappers, entertainers, business owners, everybody, they're trying to add all these IRS agents. They call that infrastructure. They're going to be after everybody money at the same time giving illegal immigrants money. How does that work? What's up, Lil B? I'm calling you in a minute. I'm going to call you in a minute, Lil B. I was thinking about you, man. I've been taking a couple of days off, man. I've been going through some shit, but I'm going to call you. All right? It's my dog. It's my dog. Run it. Go stream it. Run it. I like the way Jeff Hardy said that shit. They say, run it. But shout out to Jeff Hardy, man. Yeah, man, it's stuff in this bill. It's stuff in this bill, man. They giving motherfucking legal immigrants $500,000 a piece. I don't need that top child tax credit right now, then. If they ain't trying to help the American citizen, they was only going to give us, bruh, listen to this. They was only going to give us $600 or however many dependents you have. See, I had 2 since my little babies, so I would get only $600 a month for my kids. Bruh, that ain't shit towards giving a motherfucking goddamn illegal immigrant $500,000, bruh. And the thing I disagree with Manchin on too, the motherfucker from West Virginia, the senator that downplayed, that disagreed with the bill, he talking about the people that would get the child tax credit, we use it for drugs and shit and abuse it. What the fuck? How we gonna abuse $600? Nigga, I drink up $600. Nigga, I smoke up $600, nigga, in 2 nights. Me and my wife would go out to dinner and I'll be broke the next day off $600. And you gonna give motherfuckers $500,000 fucking dollars, Brick. Fuck out of here. But we gonna keep going.
It's an army of IRS agents that are gonna come for your bank account.
Gentleman's recognized 1 minute.
They're going to be combing through your bank account. And why? Because they've got to generate hundreds of billions of dollars to spend on more inflation. So all the stuff that they giving illegal immigrants and all the bullshit they try to come up, they're going to tax you, American citizen, to pay back the shit that they're giving out to the people. We going to fall on that motherfucking weight, bro. If you're a working American like me, you're going to fall on that shit paying for those illegal immigrants $500,000 a check. So don't get mad at that motherfucker for shooting that shit down, bro.
Get educated. Read something. Stop following behind these democratic narratives, bruh. Joe Biden don't mean us no goddamn good, bruh. Joe Biden don't mean us no good, bro. I ain't saying who was better, what was better. I don't give a fuck. But I know this goddamn man in this White House right now, and that motherfucker Indian he got right next to him don't mean us not a bit of fucking good as American citizens. And you got Kamala Harris capping like she a champion for black people. She ain't champion for us, bro. She told us before she even got the job that she ain't doing shit for black people. She told you that. Look it up. No. That's how she said it. I'm not just doing anything for black people. No. She said it. She said that shit, bro. I'm not capping. I'm not telling y'all some shit. I'm just making this up, right? She said it. All right, we'll keep going.
Inducing spending. That's right. According to this pen.
Poor white folks, black people. We need to get together, man. Black brothers, man. We need to stop this gang shit. We need to stop this gang shit, man. Chasing these crumbs. We need to stop selling these drugs, chasing these crumbs, man. We need to get with the poor white folks, man, and change this country. They're trying to get illegal immigrants all our money, bro. And I'm so glad this goddamn shit was killed. I don't even know what to do. I'm happy as fuck they killed that bill because of that. Because at first, I was like you. I was like, yo, that goddamn devil. He stopped that goddamn shit for them poor people. He stopped the child tax credit for them people. Man, he fucked up and all that until I read the fucking bill, bro. I read the bill. It's poison. It's poison, my nigga. But we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. Thank you for staying.
Wharton account. You're going to have over $4 trillion of spending with $1.5 trillion of new taxes. By the way, that's $2.5 trillion of additional debt, even though the president says there's no cost, just $2.5 trillion of debt. But these IRS agents are going to have to account for over $200 billion to find money from your checking accounts.
So if you ever come up on some money, you win the lottery, you get a rap contract, you get an acting contract, you get anything making over $400,000 a year, they're coming after your money, people. All the people I interview, little bars, even you, baby, they're coming after your bread once you get on, baby. I'm trying to tell y'all niggas some shit, bruh. This democratic leadership is going to lead us to the slaughter, bruh. The whole country look like the hood right now, nigga. All this lawlessness, bruh. The Democrats are creating the poverty, bro. Because you can have a bill where you don't have all no type of shit like that and you just helping the American people. If the Democrats was really genuine on helping the American people, they wouldn't have all that in there, bruh. $500,000 to illegal immigrants. With that shit in that alone, I would have said no. I could have said, yo, I'm giving people this and that, this and that, this and that, but then we're going to give illegal immigrants. I said, nah, kill a bill. Kill a fucking bill. Kill it. It's done. Because, bro, you can't spend no money like that. Ain't nowhere in the world you can give 7 million people $500,000 and expect this country to be good. Yeah. And I was thinking about another faction of Busy MC TV. I was thinking about doing political shit too. I'm thinking about talking about political shit too because I'm very astute, which meaning I have knowledge of the political arena. I should do that because I got a lot I could tell you. Some of you people, some of my brothers, some of my family don't understand the political process. All they know about is being Democrats. All they know about is going voting for the motherfucker who say 2 good things about black people. I will never vote for a black person until I see what the fuck he stand on. Because all skin folk ain't kinfolk. And like I said, just like Fred Hampton said, Obama was the biggest drug since crack that was thrown on the black community. The biggest drug since crack. Shout out to Fred Hampton Jr. Shout out to Fred Hampton Sr. Black Panthers. Shout out.
That's what they're trying to do at dark of night. We started the morning at 8 a.m. We're here after 9 p.m. starting to get into the details of this bill. No wonder they don't want a CBO score. No wonder they want to do this by dark of night. This is going to induce more inflation that's hurting.
They've been reading that bill from 8 o'clock in the morning. So they read that bill for 14 fucking hours. 2,300 pages took 14 hours. Why do they need all that, man? Why they just... I'm gonna keep going.
Families all across America. Listen to what the voters of Virginia said. Stop the this madness. Defeat this bill. I yield back the balance of my time.
All right. That's just basically what it is, man. It's basically what it is, man. And I'm so fucking glad that they defeated this bill, man. Because we can't give money to illegal immigrants like that. And shout out to all my legal immigrants out there that's doing the right thing. That's standing up for this country. That wanna make sure that their babies and our babies come up as one. I've been born in this country. I lived in this country 47 years. My daddy was born here. My daddy's daddy was born here. My daddy's daddy was born here. My sons are born here. My daughters were born here. So it's only right that I would side with some shit with Senator Manchin. And his state, like they say, West Virginia is a poor fucking state that need that child tax credit. But if you was a real American citizen, you will understand that this bill don't mean shit for the American people. Drop the mic on that. That's all I got to say about that bill. Drop the mic on that motherfucking shit, bro. And I'm going to go into my final thought because I got to get out of here. I got to get my son and shit. You know what I'm saying? But, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for coming to Busy MC TV, where I give you interviews, display dope music, and give commentary on the stories that's rocking the world. Like my first story, I talked about Saturnalia, the origin of Christmas. Black folks, poor white folks, we arm in arm. Understand what you're celebrating. You bringing spirits around you that you don't even understand. You dealing with principalities and spirits that you don't understand. Don't worry, Busy MC got you. I'm here. Hey, we don't celebrate Christmas over here. We say Family Day. And we don't recognize that the Christ was born on the cold ass 25th. We think he was born in the summer somewhere sometime. They said September or something like that, but we gonna go with that. Spoil your kids all year. Don't wait till the end of the year and get broke and fuck up all your bill money, bruh. I'm guilty, we all guilty of that bullshit. I came up upon a shortfall dealing with that bullshit. Fucking with that shit, buying kids shit, bruh. And shout out to my family. And the Omicron surge, man, with this new corona shit, man. Family, hold out, family. Hold out, man. God got you. The devil's in the details of this shit, man. And that's all in the bill too. And I'm about to mention it in my last story, in my final thought. They put a lot of that corona shit in the bill, where they're trying to be totalitarian within the government boundaries of the disease. Let's say no, America. Let's say no. And that Build Back Better bill. Shout out to Senator Manchin. Shout out to him, man. I don't agree with none of his politics. I don't even know who this motherfucking white man is, but he saved America. If it ain't got nothing to do with helping the American people, don't bring that shit to Congress, man. We gotta take care of home before we take care of the world, motherfucker. Take care of home. I'ma take care of home if I take care of any bitch in the street. And that's Busy MC TV. This is my show, and it's the end of it. And I want to thank you for participating and coming and watching. And on that note, my niggas, I'm out. I love y'all. Be safe. Make better decisions for your family. Understand the world and what's going on there.